Alright.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Hello,
Seems
everybody.
like it's in pretty good condition.
What? Welcome to episode 12.
Yeah.
This is
Is it? Yeah,
Yep.
episode 12 already.
It's a baker's dozen. Well, no, it's just a dozen.
Just the regular.
Baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Baker's dozen next week.
The non-generous baker. Just an ordinary
Yeah,
baker. He's doesn't.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
a straight dozen.
Alright. Simon, where are you? You're like,
I'm in a hotel.
what? Yeah, no, where are you
No.
actually? Have you gone away for Christmas, was it? Or?
Yeah, we we're still in Darwin. We just decided to stay for a couple of days in a hotel and chill out and yeah, relax.
Nice.
So yeah, it's quite nice.
Um,
Spending most of the time in the pool and getting sunburnt, and yeah, the rest of the time just literally sitting on the bed, sleeping, watching cricket because the Boxing Day's Test match is on. So
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, that's good. We did a fairly similar thing ourselves actually, but we did it just before Christmas because we were worried that there was going to be too many people about, and like
Ah,
here, like in Malaysia, still there's like 2,000 plus cases a day
really? Still?
of the Rona coming in. Yeah, we've cracked 100,000 confirmed cases in the country.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know whether they're not reporting it well or whatnot, but we're only at like 400 something deaths total, so it's actually pretty
That
good,
seems weird.
pretty good numbers. Yeah, but
I wonder
um,
if Malaysians are just healthier than Americans.
I'm thinking what it is that we've had a huge spike recently,
Yeah.
and so most of the people are still with it. I think they still actually have the
Ah,
sickness.
okay.
So it's only been
So
like
it's
the
like a
last month or whatever, and it's just been 1,000 cases a day or 2,000 a day.
yeah. Okay, so it's like a lagging thing.
Yeah, I think the numbers are increasing slowly, but also it could be that I don't know.
Yeah,
Actually, I think one of the things that's happened is that our case count has also been low enough currently that there's also enough hospital beds for everyone.
yeah, that'll save a lot.
Yeah. However, we have now. I'm pretty sure we've hit peak, so we've actually hit number of beds equal to number of active cases because we've got like eighteen
Yeah,
thousand active cases,
yeah.
something
So
like
you're
that.
starting to go into the triage sort
Yeah.
of stuff where
Yeah.
it's like, who's the one that's gonna survive?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
It's the
give them
lottery.
the bed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we figured we'd just get our holidaying in before Christmas even starts.
yeah,
So we went away a couple nights, and yeah, basically same thing that you do. We just lay
yeah,
in bed, had the air conditioning running. It was pretty good. We
yeah.
walked around in the city centre, like in the big shopping centre in the middle, KLCC it's
Oh
called,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one with the
yeah.
Petronas
Cool.
Towers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and
Yeah, the one you guys took us to when we went there.
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
was. Do you remember when you were there, like what it was like?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Because nowadays it's just dead. There's just like
Wow,
70% of its traffic normally is tourists.
wow.
And so we went there, and I was taking photos and videos of it because it was literally empty. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
well, there's a lot of people that. Oh, sorry. There was a lot of people that were breaking curfew just to take pictures of empty streets during the lockdowns in Melbourne and stuff.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, who are they going to infect, right? If it's an empty street.
Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's just
There's your
funny.
proof. It's like, yeah, I wasn't infecting anyone. Look.
Yeah. I literally took pictures.
Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty weird to see that, but it was also so much nicer too because it was not a hectic place of just people everywhere. It was really pretty relaxing. So we ended up walking like
Yeah.
all 5 floors of the shopping center end to end.
Wow.
Just had a look at all this stuff that we normally don't look at because normally it's like get in there, get the photos, eat your food, get
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
just too much go go go. But this time
Wall
it
to
was
wall to people.
man, like yeah, but this
Well,
time we
was
were,
it all still open?
Mostly everything was open still, yeah. Although
Wow.
it was so random. Um, Ramir and I went to the like one of the floors there. They had this roast duck place, so we were like, oh, we'll get the Peking duck with the little pancakes and the
Yeah,
sauce and
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll go there, but we didn't want it for lunch, so we're like, we'll come back for dinner. We just wanted to have a look at what's on your menu. It looked pretty good. We come back at dinner, and the place was not only closed, it was like closed. Like they were they were
Wow.
pulling the furniture out. It was going. We're like, what? We were there. It would have been the last meal. I might have
It would
literally
have been
bought the
like
last meal.
the last the last rotten duck that they just been sitting there.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna buy this.
Yeah, that's
Someone's gonna.
yeah, that's what we were saying to each other. It's like actually kind
Yeah,
of glad I didn't end up eating there because it would have just been like the
yeah,
leftover soup that was in the dishes sink that they like.
yeah. We scraped all the other bowls and we. It's
Yeah. Um, yeah, so
yeah,
that was like I don't know, but that was the only place we saw that was shutting down. Everywhere else was
yeah,
had still been running, but yeah, I mean like
yeah.
who's buying Gucci at the moment?
No,
There was
exactly.
nobody
Yeah.
in there for the whole time that we were in there for like 4 hours or something. We clocked up nearly 10,000 steps because we are trying to get
Wow.
our step count up. Um,
Oh, you got your little watches.
yeah, yeah. Well, we hadn't been out doing much, and so
Mm.
it's like finally we can go and really stretch our legs somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but uh, that yeah, most of those shops just didn't see many customers for the whole time, and that's how it is.
Mm.
But we left on Christmas Eve,
Oh, okay.
and so we were speaking to the manager of the hotel, and he's like, "Yeah, everyone's coming in tonight. The restaurant's at 90% capacity. People are really coming in. Finally, we're getting customers and stuff." I'm like, "Glad I'm going. Bye."
Yeah. You got the good bit.
Yeah, yeah, we got it when it was quiet, and then this is it. We're
Yeah.
just like we're locking ourselves down now until after New Year's.
Jeez. So
Uh,
crazy, man.
mm.
Like, I mean, we went to my sister's for Christmas,
Oh yeah,
and we had like a big party. There was 13 adults and about 15 children, and yeah, it was just fine. Like literally, I have not experienced any corona thing yet.
yeah, but
But
you don't actually have any active cases there, do you?
no, no, they've started to implement. You have to write your name down when you go to places,
So what name are you
which I
putting?
don't like. Yeah, that's,
I like to.
I will not incriminate myself,
Yeah, that's right.
but I do like Jim Morrison.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like who's it? Scott Morrison. Yeah, probably looks like he's visiting a
He
lot of
better,
Darwin restaurants.
he better lock down if we get a case.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I, I I find it weird. Like they're trying to get us to download an app and to like
oh yeah,
scan it everywhere.
yeah,
It's just too 1984 for me. It's just a bit weird. And the I don't know. It's definitely weird looking at the world from here. Like how much everyone's changed, and like nothing feels like we went Boxing Day sales,
oh yeah.
and it was packed. Like you could not get into the car park. I mean, we got in a little bit early, so we got up to the very top level of Casuarina, like in the sun, and got a car park.
Oh jeez.
But it was packed, and by the time we left, like an hour and a half later, it was lines of cars going down the
Oh
streets to
my
all the car park
god.
entrances. So it just doesn't
Were the
like
sales that good or?
no, sales are terrible. But in fact, I was like, that's why we left so early because we were like, oh, we got a list of like boring stuff to buy, underwear, socks,
Yeah.
school supplies, maybe some bedding, maybe just like you get all the boring stuff during the Boxing Day sale.
Yeah.
And most people probably don't even know what Boxing Day is, but yeah, the
It's the day where you throw out all the boxes from your Christmas presents.
yeah, and Australia gets it as a holiday.
Did they actually have boxing matches? Is that what it was about, or?
No, I think it's what you said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I was just making that up.
No, no, I was agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, yeah, you
Oh,
got it.
I thought they had like I thought they used to have the boxing matches at that time.
Don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just to get rid of your boxes. Um,
Okay, cool.
because they used to have, and that
Uh,
even it's gone away now, but they used to have like a bin run on that day,
all right.
and everyone would leave like cartons out for the garbos.
All right.
That's the garbage collectors for people who don't speak Australian.
It doesn't matter
And
about those.
and it's a trash can for people that. But yeah, it's weird, right? It's
Mm.
like they
Yeah.
yeah, kind of just that went away and it just turned into a sales day. But
Wow.
now I think it's gone to the next side of it, where the shops are no longer giving sales, and it's just become a day to spend money. So it's like
As
we went into
opposed to the
Kane.
entire month before Christmas.
Yeah, because it's like it's meant to be the bargains and the like I said, like the boring stuff, the stuff you don't actually want to buy. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
I don't really want to buy linen, I don't want to buy towels. It's not that exciting. And then
Uh,
occasionally
I
there'll
don't
be
know,
like,
man. A good
bit
Egyptian cotton towel is it's a pretty special
I
thing.
mean, it's nice to have one, but
Yeah.
to go shopping for one is pretty boring. But anyway, the you know what I mean though. It's like
Mm.
it's the non exciting essential stuff that you need.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have normally they have electronics that are for sale and stuff like that.
Right.
There was just nothing. Went to Kmart, nothing. We talked to someone, oh yeah, we didn't have time to put the tags out, but it's mostly just the Christmas stuff from yesterday. It
If
it was a non event, so we left pretty early.
well, I'm assuming like a lot of places aren't doing so well because of
Yeah,
lockdown
yeah,
measures and stuff. But I mean, to be honest, you want to move your old stock.
yeah. I mean that's normally the time to do it, and that's kind of I think how it started. Was like, okay, get rid of the Christmas stuff, get rid
Mm.
of all the seasonal clothes and the sort of
Yeah.
the fashion lines and
Yeah. Well, that's when
yeah,
we do our like Christmas shopping for decoration-y stuff for the next year. Like, if
yeah,
there's
yeah,
all the lights are super cheap or were super cheap and all that.
yeah.
It's like, why would I have bought any of this before? And also all the chocolates too, obviously.
Yeah,
Mm.
there was literally no lights for sale. Like there was nothing Christmas for sale in the
Jesus,
whole of Kmart.
that's crazy.
It was so weird, man. We were like, went in there, okay, get something for the tree, get something for like another set string of lights,
Yeah,
get some baubles, nothing.
yeah,
I'm
right.
like, okay.
That's
So we pretty much just did a lap and then left,
yeah.
and yeah, then we went here and enjoyed ourselves for a couple of days, just chilling out.
Are you gonna be doing much for New Year then, or?
No, no, we'll probably go to my sister's again. She's got such a great house for entertaining. Like she's got like a downstairs area that's fully tiled and it's got lights and fans and stuff and a big table and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
sit around watching everyone get drunk.
Are they actually doing like lights, fireworks and so on, or are they canceling all that?
No, the fireworks are going. Tones and I is up here.
What?
The dance monkey, dance monkey, dance monkey. Oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh.
okay. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. She's coming up for New Year's. She's gonna do a concert for New Year's.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, nothing's changed. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing. Like, it's like there's gonna be probably 15,000 people crammed into the foreshore, um, and there'll be a massive concert on. and then fireworks. Whereas in Melbourne, they're like, yeah, we're cancelling everything, and no one's allowed out, and there should be like, 10
Was
people. Everyone stay in 10 people groups.
is it Melbourne or Sydney that's got all the stuff?
Sydney now. Sydney's really bad
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah,
Really
they
bad
got
is in like 20 cases, or
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
they're dying
I
over
think
there.
they're yeah, I think they've pretty much got 70 cases all up at the
Oh,
moment.
okay, yeah.
So it's it's really crazy how quickly it starts and how randomly it spreads. I find that really weird. It's like you get one person
Mm,
and they just go. Like the first person is almost always someone who went to like 12 different shops and a bunch of buses.
yeah.
Like that's almost every single spreading event. This one person caught it from an international traveler
Mm,
and then went to 12 different shops and had food at these places and licked a bunch of doorknobs and yeah, it's just so anyway, a whole bunch of like it was literally one person, then like 17 people, then like 20 people, and then 25. It just went. Whoosh.
yeah.
But I think they've got it pretty well contained now.
That's because they're using the
So
app, Simon. They're signing in and they're tracking themselves.
yeah.
This
Well, I
is
haven't seen ScoMo
it's
um, quarantine yet, so
it's for your
very
safety.
disappointed.
And yeah, no, I I don't know. I don't like to think about where it is. I've been watching all that stuff about the Great Reset and all that, and it's just been
Ah, yeah.
the
I
global
mean,
billionaires just, I don't know, making plans for a socialist future. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I don't really want to dive into that stuff. It's too depressing.
well, the problem with having a socialist future, if you're a billionaire, is that you're the first to go, right?
Um,
Right? You get into the top echelon, you create socialism, which is about equality of outcome, and they come for your stuff, right? Isn't that what? Isn't that the whole thing?
um, yeah, it's basically government owns all, but I'm guessing if you're at
Yeah,
the top end, you own government. So it would still come down to you being the person that influences the policy. But this is for like the ultra rich.
I
Um,
guess so, but I don't know. It's never ended well
oh no,
being a rich. It's never ended well being a rich person in a socialist environment
no.
because you either the country collapses and your currency collapses,
Oh yeah,
or you kill millions of people and they revolt and kill you.
yeah.
Isn't
What?
that isn't that isn't
Yeah,
that pretty much what's happened every other time? I might
yeah.
be wrong. There might be
No, I don't.
other examples,
I'm
but
guessing that what most of the rich are doing is they'll just move their money offshore.
yeah,
If things start looking like they're going to head south, these are the first people that know. They sell off all their shares and
yeah.
they move somewhere else and go to New
But again,
Zealand.
why would you even want to do that? Like, this is what I don't understand. It's like I can understand the people that have misplaced sympathy, like the people that are like, we need to help the poor people by taxing the rich. We need to stop people eating meat and get them all onto insects to help the planet. Like it's like these ideas of like it's like these ideas of like altruism,
Mm,
but turned like a Frankenstein monster altruism, where it's like we're gonna
yeah,
just like crush everyone's individualism into an amorphic
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
But
was I watching? They were saying that was like pretty much what China tried to do. And you know, all the Mao was promising all the people their own plot of land and that they would be the masters of it and so on. And then he just ended up owning everything and made them all slaves on their own
Yeah,
land.
yeah, exactly.
And then everyone went into
Pretty
poverty
much the
and
same.
just caused a mass, basically, killing of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all that happens every time.
Yeah, so,
And
yeah, so I'm like
it's like
watching
you,
it just going, nah, I don't really want to watch this stuff anymore. So I've been starting to like pull away from following it a bit now because it's
yeah,
just like,
it's very depressing because it's very possible. And it's got a large group following on the left. Um,
mm.
like this whole idea of,
Well, I don't know how you
um,
sell that story. I don't know how you sell that it's a good idea that people are
well, I
following
mean,
it.
if you look at who's following it, um, like I said, people with misplaced sort of sympathies, like for trans people and for like instead of having instead of having this like um let everyone have a fair go and have like an ability to try, which is what it should have.
Mm.
It's like, oh no, let's hold down these people and push these people up, and then everyone's equal. And it's like there's no that's what it feels like anyway. It's like there's no it's like the people that follow it are stupid and they haven't thought it through. That's
Yeah.
basically what's happening.
Yeah, or at least
It's
looked
like,
at history.
yeah, I mean, you could do a cursory glance at history.
Mm.
I mean, I had an argument on Twitter that was telling me that like Nazis weren't right wing. This is from the right wing people, like the ultra right wing people. No, 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 Nazis aren't right wing. They're left wing because they were called the Nationalist Socialist Party, and socialism is a left wing idea. It's just
Yeah,
people that don't understand history, and it's like you're using semantics to argue a historical fact.
yeah,
It's like that's not.
yeah. Let's look at what actually happened.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter what they call themselves. It's like what were they doing?
Yeah, he's not a serial killer. He's just a
Yeah,
dentist or whatever. What he
yeah.
happens to be
So
doing is murdering people en
yeah,
masse. But it's
yeah,
not. It's
yeah.
not that. Yeah, it's not serial killer.
So
Yeah, that's stupid.
yeah.
All
So
right,
it's the same
fair
thing
enough.
on the left. It's like these crazy dudes who well, you can't even call them crazy. They literally are just stupid. Like they haven't thought through. I'm serious, man.
Yeah,
It's like if you are following these radical left-wing ideas, you are an idiot. That's all I can say. Because you haven't thought through what the consequences of your actions will be. And it's exactly the same on the right wing. It's like if you follow the right wing ideas to the nth degree, you're an idiot because you're giving up your individual thoughts for an ideal,
mm,
which is never gonna be exact. It's never gonna replace
no.
rational thinking in the moment. It's like it's never gonna replace like a coming together of minds to think of what a solution is for the problem that exists right now.
Yeah,
It's never gonna defeat that. It's like it's always gonna be worse
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're being dogmatic. It's as soon as you start being dogmatic,
yeah.
you've
You don't
lost.
allow for adaptation.
Yeah, and there's no way a thought in the past can account for anything, like for everything that's going to happen in the future. So you're immediately closing yourself off
Yeah,
to any solutions in the future.
yeah. I mean, I noticed that
So
in religious texts that really don't have much of a say
yeah,
about what our social media etiquette should be, which I find is a
yeah,
pretty big oversight
exactly.
in our current world.
Yeah, God really missed that one. It was, it's like
Dear. So
So,
yeah, instead, I've been trying to watch just different sort of
happy
more.
fun
Well, yeah,
puppies.
yeah, just puppies.
Yeah, videos of puppies and cats.
Yeah, no, I've been looking at. I mean, some of those videos about the fail sort of stuff where it's,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but then
I
they'll
love
like
those.
pause it right at the moment where it fails. just I'm just sitting there laughing my guts out.
Yeah.
No, no, I was watching like a TED talk on uh, the way you can trick your brain into learning more, basically. And he put it in a really, like, he framed it in a really interesting manner. I don't know the level of research that's gone into it to back it up, but he did this online test. I can't remember the dude's name. I'll have to find it. But he did this online test where he built a little puzzle program that was like really basic coding,
Mm.
and it would be you have to get like a car through a maze, and all you could be allowed to do was have one coding block to handle every scenario in the maze. And
Yeah.
so it would just be, but it was all represented like reasonably, like in a GUI manner with a graphic unit user interface. So instead of
Oh,
typing
okay. Yeah.
the if when code
Oh,
algorithms
okay. Yeah.
out, you would just drag a little box that says turn left, turn
Oh,
right,
okay.
that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so you just put it into like a simple coding loop, and it would get the thing through. And he said he wasn't really interested whether people could achieve this. He called it a game, put it out as 50,000 people odd that gave it a go. What he was interested in was that he would randomly assign, whenever someone logged on, a points system. So you get 200 points in one, and every time you did your coding loop and you failed, you lose 5 points,
Okay.
and then you can try again. And then the
Yeah.
other one said, you don't lose any points. It's just you didn't complete the task. Please try again.
Yeah.
And like, which do you think would make people more likely to pass, or more competitive to actually, or driven to actually get an end result?
Well, I would think it would be the one with the points.
Yeah, yeah. However, um, that wasn't the end result from his study. Uh, it was kind of the opposite. What was happening was that people that were losing the points, about 50% of the people that tried that got it passed. About
Yeah.
70% of the people that didn't have a points system passed. But what was actually occurring was the people that were losing points didn't attempt retrying it so often. So they
Oh,
they
so
would
it's just a.
only, on average, give it
Oh,
maybe
okay.
five
Yeah.
attempts, and so they'd lose 25 points, and they're just like, oh, I can't do it. Whereas
Yeah.
the people that didn't have any loss were trying up to 12 times on average to get the coding to work, but then they were getting a longer term success rate from it.
Yeah.
And so that
Okay.
perception of basically punishment or loss at attempting a task makes it harder for you to be driven to complete the task. Um, it's especially when there's no long term kind of outcome for it. So if you're just getting
What?
that feedback saying you did bad with deducting points, you're
Yeah.
much less likely to want to continue on with that task to pass.
Yeah.
And so he was saying, he laid it out really, really well. He said, like, if I was to give you this test, and I would say push button 1 and 2 for 3 seconds, push button 1 for 2 seconds, push button 6 and 3 for 2 seconds, whatever, and he had like a long list, and it says, if you don't complete this, you can't get onto the next, well, 32 tasks basically. Like, you have to complete each one and you have to get it correct. It says, if I was to change that label from test to game,
Mm-hmm.
and then change the layout of the testing board to say, or the buttons board to like a Nintendo gamepad, and
Yeah.
then the actual instruction set was to be a graphic representation as Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
So it's like now people will go back over and over and over and attempt to get it until they can get it, until they
yeah,
complete it. And it's exactly
yeah.
the same
It's
thing. You need to press the specific formula in order to get through the level. You know, there's variance to some degree, but you always need to jump over the thing and, whatnot.
Did we talk about the gamification of things?
I don't think
Yeah.
so, but that
Mm.
was the word
Uh,
he was using, so you
mm.
may have seen
Mm.
similar thing then.
No, no, I've just been thinking about it because it's happening everywhere. Like I've been mostly watching it in my daughter's education,
Ah,
and everything's a game. So it's like it's all just like trying to. It's like the old make a burger patty with vegetables in it. You know,
yeah. I think for early childhood
blend
learning, gaming,
blend your spaghetti.
yeah, playing games in the early childhood stuff is like, there's art learning, there's game and so
Yeah,
on. It's catching on a lot. I don't know to what extent, but I know
yeah,
more for high school. It's about the test and your academic achievement. And I certainly know here, parents aren't interested in their kids playing a game. Parents are interested
yeah,
in the feedback of what were your marks. It's like, well, they're in grade 2.
yeah,
Yeah, but what were the marks?
yeah.
It's like,
Well, I mean, that's how I read my daughter's report card. So
oh yeah,
same thing. It's like I just was like, okay, what did she pass and fail
yeah,
at? And that was it.
yeah,
Because I didn't care about it.
yeah. But
Whereas my
that's
mum, who
yeah,
was a transition teacher,
oh yeah.
was like, no, 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 you've got to read the comments because that's the important bit. Like
And you're like, yeah, it's because you're a teacher. You
yeah,
gotta validate your experience.
yeah. Yeah. So so back to the experiment.
Yeah.
I wonder, was there a cutoff for how many times the people that didn't get punished could try?
It didn't say. It only really said
Okay.
that this was an average number of attempts, and you got a
Yeah,
higher level of success as a result.
because I wonder, there's two things.
Mm.
I wonder if the punishment was a broken arm instead of points being lost, whether you would have a higher success rate. As
All
in,
right.
like,
I'll set up the test. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. So a
let's just
higher a higher
uh,
level of impending
of,
threat. Yeah.
a higher level. Okay, let's say instead of going violent, let's go monetary loss.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say I'm giving you $200, and for every $2, every time you fail, you lose $2 of that $200, and if you quit, you don't get any money.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. So you give them a higher incentive to complete.
Yeah, because there's no incentive to complete it other than
No.
to do the test.
Yeah.
Whereas in real life, you have an incentive, which is I want to
Yeah.
get good grades
But
so I can go on to do stuff.
yeah, well, that is what he was bringing it back around to, but he was just putting it in the framework of the gamification of tasks. So
Yeah,
his
and
main motivator or drive was he was enjoying the game, he wanted to have fun, and he wanted to win. Like he said, my best moment
yeah,
was getting a high five from my friends after I defeated Bowser. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, so your motivator or your drive was that. That's not the same for all people, for sure.
and
Um,
it's also I wonder. This is me wondering. So
mm,
this is a hypothesis,
okay.
which is one I came up with when I thought I must have been discussing it with my wife about gamification and whether it's the okay. Let's look back 100 years on education. Let's go 100 years back in education.
All right.
How
Can we
we
do the
think?
effects of the? Good day, sir.
Yeah. Now hear this.
Yeah, gonna get the cane on you, child.
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw young Johnny and he was looking out the window.
yeah. Seems like those Jerrys
Uh,
are really acting up at the moment.
we'll whip him into shape. Don't worry, you worry, chaps. Anyway,
Yeah.
You do that for half an hour.
Yeah.
um, what was the result of those people's efforts of that system?
Mm.
What was the average marks of the students from that system?
Yeah.
And uh, didn't we discuss this? No, no.
It's, I don't know. I
It
don't
might have
think
been a
so.
really early one. So
Could have
anyway,
been.
I'm not 100% sure because
Mm.
basically what my argument comes down to is what is the result you're going to see from the what you've got an education system.
Yeah.
You're going to change the education system. You don't see the results for 20 years.
Oh yeah. No, we did talk about this earlier on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
And but that's one of the changes that I see really being built in is gamification.
Right.
And what I worry about is people like there was a really hard way of learning before, which was repetitive, monotonous, dry learning.
Yeah.
And if a kid can't do learning that way, th- and all you're doing is feeding them games to get like it's like a more it's a more it's a less I'm struggling to explain it. It's like the amount of information that you can pass someone through a game. You have to pass through so much more information to get what actual information you're trying to give them. Is that I'm probably not saying that correctly, but like if I just tell you the capital of Australia is Canberra,
Mm.
that's a fact, and you can then remember that fact.
Yeah.
But if I have to go, let's go for a journey, children, around Australia, and let's try and hop to every single capital city on a kangaroo. Like the thing you have to do there
Yeah.
is like so big compared to the list of names that you could just write down and make force people to remember.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah. I
does that
know
make
what you're
sense? Is
saying.
that
It's like they're having to double the workload in order to get the same amount of information across.
yeah, and then it's like if that's not done for them,
Mm.
they're not going to learn in the future.
Oh,
That's
I see.
you know what I mean? It's like because like I don't get to go to work and someone like my work day is not okay, Simon, hook yourself up to a SNES and play those three games that spits out the reports for the day. You know, it's like print out those reports and run through them with your eyes over these boring numbers
Yeah.
and make sure they're all correct. And if something's not correct, this is what you have to do. So
Yeah.
it's you know what I mean? It's much more dry and analytical than what the children are getting exposed to in classrooms.
Um, yeah, that is an interesting look at it, and I don't certainly don't have an answer for that. I find the
I don't
topic
either.
interesting.
Yeah,
I would look at it in the sense that I know people's best
yeah,
methods for recollection or storage and recollection is actually through storytelling.
yeah.
So your ability to remember facts comes better in that. What is it called? Like relational frame theory, something like that.
You'd know better than me. I don't know that stuff.
Um,
But
but it the idea is that you once it's all contextualized, you have a better level of recall because
yeah,
you aren't just trying to grab dry facts. You're grabbing
yeah,
an object within a larger picture, which is something that your brain is better at working on and building because it's continuously contextualizing everything it does. Um,
yeah. I'm assuming that comes from like being tribesmen and like
yeah,
telling stories and like
yeah,
yeah,
probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we had a long oral tradition before anything was written down, and so like,
yeah,
um, but yeah, like the storytelling would have gone on for thousands of years before people put pen to
yeah,
paper or you know I'm sure they drew
Yeah. So
pictures on the wall, but then they were still elaborating the story. It's like, yeah, here's the
yeah,
campfire,
exactly.
blah blah blah. That's the dragon.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. So anyway, I was just that was sort of more where what I was thinking in terms of
yeah,
we're monkeying with something that's been sort of put in place for quite a while,
yeah. No,
and we
it
haven't.
needs
Yeah,
solid testing. We can't just up and
yeah,
change everything. That's for sure.
yeah, and they've already done it. Like most of it, a lot of it's already been changed. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, I mean
and
that's not a bad thing either. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go on.
no, no, go,
Oh, yeah,
uh,
that's not necessarily a bad thing either. That it is changing because we can't rely on an old system for a modern world as much. It does need to be open to some tweaking, but not just uphold the whole thing and start fresh kind of thing, because then you are
yeah,
dicing with, is this gonna work?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, and the
yeah,
but yeah, I just find that like the ability to withstand mental pain
yeah,
is a critical thing that you get taught in school,
yeah, yeah.
and that it's getting taken away from you
Yeah. No, I'm.
through,
Yeah,
hey, like let's we're losing their attention, and kids aren't getting as good at grades, so
yeah,
let's like let's up the excitement and the dopamine rushes that they get, um so they pay more attention to what we're doing, and then they learn better. And but it's like it's like that it's like the coddling of the humans, like the it's like
yeah,
it's like on one hand you had the old traditions of leaving the baby on the rock for the night, and when you go through puberty, go kill a lion, and
yeah,
and now it's sort of like, oh, you can be a kid till you're 25, and you just stay with your parents, and
yeah, yeah. Let's make the
yeah,
entire world a safe place. Yeah.
yeah. The amount of times, here's something for our listener. Um, Listen to how many times you hear the word safe around you in your life.
Right.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think I'm not sure if I was telling you. I got an audio book of some dude that was on the um, Joe Rogan show. It did like the coddling of the American mind is his book,
Okay.
and it's
Yep.
yeah, it is on that. It's just like, you said words that make me feel unsafe.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, why are you in a university listening to a lecture
Yeah.
that doesn't agree with you then? Because you're now detracting from everybody else's opportunity to learn something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is definitely a movement that's happening. Well, at
Yeah.
least
And
in
that's what,
developing nations.
and that leads us back to the first point, which is you're like, where are these people coming from?
Yeah,
This is where they're coming from. They're coming from the universities, and basically they're stupid again. Like it's people that are at university that are stupid is where it's coming from.
well, that's, I mean, that is what happens when you lower the standards for education. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a doctorate nowadays does not mean what a doctorate did like 50 years ago or
No,
100 years ago.
no,
Um,
no,
don't
it
get me
don't.
wrong,
And that
I would still like my doctorate in something and I'd feel pretty good
right,
about it.
yeah.
Um, and you definitely
But
have to
yeah,
do some work, or quite a bit of work to achieve that. But the point that I'm making is that a lot of graduates still don't really know anything.
yeah, exactly.
But back to
And
this gamification point, it's it what we use in psychology is it's called like a goal centered approach,
yeah,
and what that is like you get the client to be involved in the goal setting process of the therapy.
Mm-hmm.
which is basically just a way of saying get them motivated to complete the task.
Yeah.
And the best way that they've been finding to keep them motivated into completing the task is by letting them pick the thing they want to achieve. And
Yep.
because you're invested in it, it's like, well, this is what I want, so of course I'm going to try hard to get that. It's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
good, but these are now the steps you're going to have to take to get there. It's like, if you want to be an astronaut, you're going to have
Yeah.
to go and learn maths, you're going to have to go and learn physics and
Yeah.
whatever else that you need in order to get that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that is what you will achieve from that. And that means that
Yeah.
you will need to, that thing you're talking about, the resilience or the endurance to put up with stuff you
Yeah.
don't like because you know where that goal is. And that's what this gamification process is talking about. The way he was discussing it was to change the framework of how you look at tests.
Yeah.
And obviously in his mind, the gaming one was the thing that he enjoyed doing so much. And so once he turned doing tests into like, oh, it's a game and I can just keep trying at it until I succeed. There's none of this punishment for being a failure, loss of social standing, having parents just rip on you because you've been doing the wrong, you failed. His was like, no, I really wanted the outcome of having passed it, so I'm just going to keep going at it until I get there. And it's like, well, that is actually a better path to success, because that is more reflective of life. It's very rare anyone gets anything right in the first time. It's generally trial and
Yeah.
error until you get there. But because you're so motivated to get that goal, you just keep going at it till you do it. So gamification is not necessarily the best method for teaching things. It's one that's becoming more popular because of the addictive nature of games.
You're slightly out of focus.
Oh,
Just not to take away from the.
yeah, yeah. It's dropping in and out. I think the lighting's
I
not
think
quite
it's.
enough.
I think it's focusing on your pot plant.
Yeah. What's so fancy about that? It's just cleaning the air. Hold on. See if I can plug in my light. But uh, the gaming reference doesn't necessarily work for everyone. Is that a little clearer?
I mean, it's brighter.
Maybe I'm just a little off focus today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the gaming framework doesn't work for everyone because not everyone enjoys playing games. It's like some people actually
Yeah.
like the rote learning. They're better at it. It's more safe for them to know exactly what they're supposed to know in order to get that end result. It's like
And a
rote.
lot of times,
Yeah.
you also can't guarantee what information someone will pick up from a game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They just learn all the
It,
cheat codes.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like cheesing a level in a game is one of the like. It's almost looked on as making you smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
think it's hard for teachers to try and pull kids back onto doing stuff they don't want to do, um, when the ease of distraction is just so high. Um,
yeah, that's the problem.
yeah,
The problem isn't that our education system isn't
I don't
working.
think that lighting's any good.
It's that the entertainment system is working too well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like you said, it does just tap into the dopamine feedback.
Yeah, and it's like this very it's like that's a system that was hardwired into us, hundreds of millions of years ago,
Mm,
um, to tell us where to go and what to get and what to achieve.
yeah,
So it's like once that gets circumvented through games and drugs and TV and all this stuff like social media, everything is just it's it's doing exactly what drugs did in the 60s. It's like
yeah,
it's it's cheating the dopamine system
yeah,
into only getting that to get a reward, and you never need anything other than that to get a reward. So you don't do anything else.
Yeah. Well, weirdly, relationships do that. Ramira and I, like in our first few years, just so happy together. We stopped working on ourselves. We stopped trying with a lot of
Yeah.
things because it's like, I just want to sit there, like on the couch watching Netflix, getting
Yeah,
through
just
the
the
day,
first
and
couple of years.
yeah, just the first couple of years. um, well, I mean, obviously, the biology is like,
Yeah,
okay,
no, I know
I
it. I
can't
know
sustain
it's
this, but yeah,
what is
it's
it?
a nightmare now.
Oxy.
So no, no, it's
Now what's the this? What's the one that gets released called the love drug?
serotonin.
No, it's
Uh, there's the dopamine.
oxy.
Oh, oxytocin.
Yeah, oxytocin.
Yeah,
That's the one that gets released when you first meet someone.
yeah, yeah. That's the good
Yeah,
one. But I mean,
yeah, and
that's the thing. It's like it's just a feeling you're getting, but that feeling
yeah,
is comes with such contentment. It's
yeah,
just like I'm happy. I don't need to
yeah.
try anymore. Um,
It's because your biology is doing exactly what it's like.
yeah,
You're positioning your genes
yeah,
into a chance to reproduce.
yeah,
And so it's like stay here, just keep staying here. Like
yeah.
it's like you're getting driven into that, and I think that was discussed in the Selfish Gene, the Richard Dawkins book.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he talked about that. Like it's like it's the genes that are the ones that are trying to
Yeah,
keep going,
yeah.
and
That's
they're
right. The
driving
body's
this
just
thing.
trying to create more bodies. That's all it's doing,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
we're
it's
getting
it.
punished for not doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and that's why it
crazy.
only lasts a certain period because it's like then it's like the you should have done it by now sort of thing.
Yeah. Welcome to the downhill slope, people.
Yeah,
There.
yeah, yeah. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
But like going back to that contentment and feeling good, it was coupled with lack of effort, lack of growth, lack of
yeah,
personal development. It's because it's like you reach that part where you're like, oh, this is good enough.
yeah,
This is what I've been wanting.
yeah, yeah. All the anxiety, all the stress
Yeah,
disappears,
yeah,
and yeah,
and yeah, you get that when you're gaming. You get that like when you take drugs and whatever else.
yeah,
It is just hitting that. All we're ever trying to do is just hit that mark where it's feeling good.
yeah. And the problem is like you do get that once you have, like we were saying last week, financial freedom
Oh yeah,
and a stable job and you know everything's stable and happy, you become content and happy.
yeah,
But that way takes so much effort
yeah,
for the average person to achieve. And that's why these little short things that can just short circuit your happiness are so attractive. It's like the
yeah.
like
Right.
Yoda, like it's like the dark side. It's like faster and easier and more seductive. But
Yeah,
you got to go on the other side and keep going and doing
yeah.
um,
As
because if you
a
don't,
yeah. Sorry, go on. If you
no, I'm
don't,
just saying if you don't, you just end up in these loops,
yeah,
and they're very hard to break out
yeah,
of internally.
yeah. And yeah, and so I don't know what hope the kids have after getting all the games given to them. I guess it's just another way to just like how can we get information across where they're actually going to listen? Because I know when I teach, I'm interested in my topic, and so I'm animated. I'm talking blah blah blah, and then I literally ask them, "What did you learn from last class?" And they can barely even remember what the topic was. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay, fair enough. And so this is like, as an adult, you go back and go, well, like this is the stuff I really enjoy. I really enjoy playing games. Why couldn't all my
yeah,
learning
yeah,
have been a game? It's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Why
Um,
can't life just be a big game? And
I
it's
have a
like, well,
I have a different thought. It's a complete aside. It's
Yep.
about Christmas carols and like endemic racism.
Yep.
So, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? This is my thought. Rudolph, right?
That's so weird, man. I'm gonna give you my theory on Rudolph
Okay.
that I thought of. But yeah,
Oh
go.
my god. I feel like we should be writing this down and then just holding it up.
It's pretty weird. That's so weird. I was thinking about it while I was singing the song. But anyway, yeah, go.
Okay, okay. All right, well, here where your mind went, here where mine went. Let's see if
Yeah.
it's different at all. Because mine was like, all right, so when I'm hearing what Rudolph's going through, he's having a hard time. He's a native, right, of the northern regions of the globe. You know, he's the
Yeah.
native there. He's having a hard time. He's not getting along. And then all of a sudden, the old white man comes in and gives him a job. And now all of the other reindeer love him. And he's got the top spot. So it's like the natives are getting saved by the old white man. And then that's the story that
Mm.
they're telling people. That's where my mind went with that. It's just retelling
Okay.
of slavery days stories about Christmas
Ah,
carols.
okay. That's a good take. Here's where mine went.
Okay.
I was thinking about all the fringe groups are Rudolph,
Okay.
and they're getting excluded from the reindeer games, which are the normal people.
Okay.
So all the people
You
that
mean
are
the
that
white
conform,
man, Simon? No.
no, society.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking more in societal terms. So
Okay.
the they don't get to join in any reindeer games. He's excluded because he's different.
Yeah.
Um, but then he proves that he has something useful to offer.
Oh,
So
okay.
he proves he has something useful to offer to society, and so he's allowed to come in.
So in this one, society is Santa Claus.
Yeah, well, society's a task, so he has
Okay.
he can help society achieve the task that they were trying to achieve, which is deliver presents.
Right.
So he is excluded until
He's
there
useful.
is he's useful.
Right. That's interesting. I like my racism one.
I think your racism one's good as well. I think that's
But I
a
think
very valid point.
I think this is yeah, that's interesting because the way we're treating people, especially when it comes to like conforming with societal
Mm,
norms. It's just like you don't have to dress the same as everyone, but you do need to fit in.
yeah,
And by
and
fitting
you have
in,
to.
you take up a role.
Yeah, exactly. You
Mm.
you you by what you wear and what you look like,
Yeah.
you you signal to the people around you that you have some sort of use case.
Yeah, I guess. And so if you're in a fringe group, you already have the stereotypes around you of what that use
Yeah,
case is. It's like you're
it's like with the,
a lazy, no good dropout
it's kind of
because
like
you wear.
it's kind of like how TV used to represent computer nerds.
All right.
They were always like weird, but they were accepted because they could do this thing. Like they were always like, no, I wouldn't normally talk to you,
Yeah.
but we have this
Yeah.
problem that needs to be done on this, and so the hero comes into the room with the nerd for a little bit, and he gets to you know, gets to interact with his quirky personality for a little bit,
Mm.
and he's normally a comedian in in the movie. He's like the comedic sort of
Yeah.
butt of the joke, and then the hero goes off and be's a hero again.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like that sort of fringe norm, like unless you provide a value to society, you will be excluded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember the times as a monk when we're walking around, like in the cities, and people look
Yeah.
at you like. I remember that like one dude drove past in his car. He couldn't find words to say, so he just went, "Ah!" and kept driving.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like we were fulfilling a religious function, and so
yeah, we're allowed to exist in the society.
Yeah.
We had enough like normative people that would accept us into the society.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But
Anyway, I think we should probably leave it there because I misjudged the amount of battery life I have.
oh, okay. Well, we've just cracked an hour anyway. We can keep
Okay,
it at that.
cool.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's perfect.
all right. We'll have to see whether or not this actually had good sound quality and so on. Next D&D game will be
Oh, it'll be next Saturday,
next Saturday.
the second. Yeah.
All right.
So
Sweet.
just go tick your acquiescence
Oh
on the
yeah.
little app.
Yeah. The Discord
And
bot. Yeah.
did we actually talk about the last one? I think we did. I think we must have had a hurry
Yeah.
up
Yeah. We
Sunday in
did.
between.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I think we either
Have you
started
guys
with
been
that.
playing
No.
over this time? Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
no, it's a
Yeah.
good time to have a bit of a break.
Yeah. Yeah. We're. Well, I mean, I think. What did we have? We had people over on the Christmas Eve. Some of Ramirez family. Quite a good
Oh,
night.
that's cool.
Good night actually.
Yeah, that's nice.
And yeah, and then this Thursday. Oh no, that was the one that just can't come by. So yeah, this next one I'm
Yeah,
not sure what we're doing, but it's like pushing on New Year's Eve kind of thing. So I'm not doubt anybody will be up for gaming around that time.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, see, I'm done with this arc, and so I've been spending the last 2 weeks just building the next stuff.
all right.
So I've actually built like 3 or 4 different places you guys might go. I don't know where you're gonna go, so I'm just gonna be, yeah,
Okay. Yep.
we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. Sounds cool. Yeah. So
Anyway, guys,
that's the second. Yeah. Enjoy our
yeah,
live
that
show.
first live show
First live show. Yeah. This might become
on a
the-
Sunday. On a Sunday,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I
amazing.
hope this is the new norm.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
All right, dude. I will catch you next week.
Yeah, cool.
All
See
right.
you later.
See you all.
Bye bye.